Hi, this is Lynn, your Love and Happiness Mastery Coach. Welcome to Module 1 of the Master Keys to Manifesting Home Study System. I'm so glad that you chose to become a student of the Master Keys to Mastery, to learn how to create the life that you want, to have fun, to have more love, to sleep better, be happier. Anything that it is you want in your life can be done by using the principles and techniques you're going to learn in this system. I'm so excited for you because the transformation that's going to take place over the next few weeks is going to be incredible. You're going to have so many things, so many opportunities show up, unexpected people, and doors open for you, doors that you didn't even know were there. But the most exciting part is the transformation that's going to take place within you. And you're going to start to I just look so forward to the things that you are going to start to experience and that you're going to write and tell me about, because that's the only thing I ask, is that as you go through this journey that you stop and share your experiences and your aha moments with me so that we can share them with everybody else. This helps other people understand and learn and realize what's possible with this system. And more than anything, you get to brag a little bit. You get to tell your story and document and journal the process. Because one of the things I'm going to ask you to do as you go through this process is to keep a journal. So writing your testimonies and sharing it with us will be one of those things that'll make it magnificent. Not only that, but we have a Love and Happiness Mastery group on Facebook that's exclusive to the Love and Happiness Mastery students. So you will receive a free membership to the group where we can address your questions and issues. I did have it set up to do by email, but now we've got this group where you can post your questions and I can answer them and people can talk to each other and greatly enhance your experience of this wonderful journey you are embarking on. So let's get started with part 1. Now, this series is based on the law of attraction. Generally, the Master Keys to Manifesting is based on the law of attraction, but the law of attraction is only one of 7 universal laws. And though I won't go into all of them tonight, I will talk about them in a later video and explain a little bit about what they are. But basically, they are the principles, the laws that the universe is made of. It's the element, the energy that surrounds us that allows us to be co-creators with the universe. So understanding them is very important, but for the purposes of what we're doing for these next 6 weeks, we're going to focus on the law of attraction. Now, I know some of you freak out when you hear that term, but believe me, it's real, it's in effect, and once we get through these first few weeks, you'll have a better understanding of it, how to use at least this portion of the 7 universal laws, and we'll deal with the others as we come upon them, okay? So let's get started with the how it works. Now, I want to assure you, no matter what you've heard, what you believe, what your experience in the past has been of the law of attraction, it is absolutely real, it is absolutely in effect, and it's working right now in your life, believe it or not. The principle is very simple. We all vibrate certain energy frequencies. We're vibrational beings, and we're attracting to us everything that has an equal vibrational energy equivalent. And that it resonates when we send out our energy, our emotions, that's our energy. When we send out our emotions, the laws, the 7 universal laws must respond, and the law of attraction responds by sending back your vibrational equivalent in form or through an experience. We send this energy out when we're sleeping, when we're awake, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The problem is the channels we're using to send and receive. Some of them are wide open and flowing freely, and others are a little restricted or maybe blocked altogether. So what we get is a hodgepodge of results and experiences and a whole lot of what we don't want. For instance, some of the high vibrational frequencies offer little resistance and are very attractive to us. So when we vibrate at those frequencies, things flow to us very easily and quickly. And those energy levels are like love and peace and joy and happiness. When we're in that state of love, peace, joy, happiness, harmony, things like that, we can pop stuff out. Things come back quickly. And because they're very positive, we end up with great experiences. However, there are other energies, lower level energies like anger and depression and despair and fear and insecurity and resentment, jealousy. All of those are very low level, dense energies. And when we send them out, we generally get back negative responses, chaotic energy, bad experiences, things that, make us generally unhappy and very unpleasant. And sometimes when we're vibrating consistently at those lower levels, we can actually inhibit our ability to bring what we want to us. We still get stuff back, but it's just not what we want. Our manifestation is slower, and sometimes it completely shuts down, because when we get down to the level of despair, which is the densest, lowest energy vibration, we can literally get stuck in our depression and despair. It becomes like tar, and that's why so many people, when they get into depression, need medication and assistance to get out of it. We literally get stuck in an emotional tar that we can't get out of. Most people cannot bring themselves out of depression without assistance. So we want to make sure that as we are working with our emotions, we try to keep them as high as possible, because the higher the vibrational frequency, the lighter it is. It's like, looking at, let's take water for instance. Water, when it's at its lowest density, is ice, and you cannot penetrate ice. When it's melted, it's vibrating at a higher frequency. The temperature's higher, it's warmer, and it's water. We can penetrate and immerse ourselves in water. When it's in a gas form, like steam, it's very light. It's very vibrating at a very high frequency, because steam is hot, and hot energy, heat creates or indicates high frequency vibrations. When steam is available or present, it's very light and airy. In fact, it evaporates and dissipates into the air very quickly. So that's just a quick, simple explanation of density. Emotionally, it's a little different, but that's a very good visual for you to understand the difference between low-level frequencies like anger, fear, and depression, and higher-level frequencies like joy and harmony, peace, and love, because they are very high frequencies, very live, very airy. When you're feeling those, you feel like dancing, you feel like singing, okay? So basically, you get the point. When we get into the principles of manifestation, we want to make sure that as we go through these next steps, these next few weeks, these processes, we get a clear understanding of how our ability to control our emotions, to stay in the feel-good range, to feel-good levels, is so important to us being able to use the law of attraction and the 6 other universal laws properly. Now, the thing about it is, and this is one thing you have to understand, is that most people, indeed the world, the media, all of the environmental influences around us are giving off a lot of negativity, very dense energies of fear and insecurity and lack and limitation, and we're immersed in it. We literally live in this soup of stuff 24 hours a day. And even if you are a happy person, if you feel lighter and energetic and try to keep yourself higher in higher vibrational emotional frequencies, it can be very hard, because your environment is saturated with it. You can be living in your home and be very positive and energetic and everybody's happy, and have a neighbor that's on a lower level frequency and hear a big argument or a fight break out, and it literally will stop you in your tracks as you feel that negative energy coming from next door. And it's kind of like, close the windows, close the doors, I don't want to hear that. So that's kind of just a quick understanding of how we live in a society, in the world, and the media constantly bombards us with all this negativity. So it's very important that we get some clarity about who we are and what to do to shift our energy and to keep it vibrating higher. So as we move through our experiences of day-to-day living, if we're feeling sad and fearful and focusing on what we don't have, which is lack and limitation, what's missing in our lives and what we don't like, we get more of that. It's just because that's what we're pouring out into the law of attraction. Our emotions are reeking of all of this negative energy. And that's what we're even focusing our intention on, that our vision, our attention to all that's missing is what we are emoting. And so the universe says, oh, you want more of what's missing? Okay, I can do that. I'll send you more of what's missing. I'll send you more of what you don't like. And so unfortunately that's what we get, and then we blame it on the law of attraction. Well, it's not working. Oh, it's working. It's working. That's why you're getting what you're getting, because that's what you're telling the universe you want. Now, because Spirit gave us such powerful creative abilities, we also have to allow for something called divine timing, because in our ability to create with this powerful energy called our emotions, if there wasn't a stopgap safety measure in there, we create some horrible experiences. I mean, we do bad enough as it is. So there's this safety mechanism in the system, and that's one of the laws. It's called the law of allowing and the law of detachment. All of those things are part of the process, but like I said, those are some of the universal principles that we will be talking about in a later video. So in order for us to understand what we're doing in the present time, we have to just simply accept the fact that when we decide to create something, there's this built-in time delay. One of the reasons it's there is it's there to allow us two things. Number one, to be sure that's what we really want. When we ask for something, it's to be sure that's what we really want. It gives us time to clarify it, to refine it, to kind of tweak it, to make sure that it's what we really want, because the clearer we are about what we want, the faster it comes in. And second thing is to prevent us from bringing monsters and disasters and all kinds of catastrophes into being. And then there are our belief systems. There's another layer of blockages that we encounter when we're trying to create. One of them is called, or not one of them, but one of the filters that we deal with is our belief system. In other words, if we can't believe that it can happen, it's not going to happen, because we are part of the process, and we have to be we have to be present in that belief system and allowing it to come in, to feel confident enough to know that yes, I deserve it. Yes, I want it. I deserve it. I can make it happen. I'm worthy. And all of those experiences play together in order to bring things to us. And then there's the other level of defense that tries to protect us, and also that protects each person's own space and own desires, and that's called our free will choices. In other words, your free will choice cannot impose on someone else's free will choice. Although we've gotten pretty good at forcing that hand a little bit. I mean, I can't always say that someone else's free will choice won't be violated, because we live in a world where people are doing things to each other and making things happen that other people don't want. But it's because of the way our system has been used and abused and misused to allow some people to be in control and take the advantage. Now, there are prices and sacrifices to pay when you infringe on someone else's free will choice. But the main thing is, the simplest way to look at it is, if you want a love life, a love partner in your life, and that partner belongs to someone else, well, you decide you want that person. Well, unless their free will choice says they want you too, they're not going to be in your life. And unless their partner's free will choice says, I'll let that person go, that's not going to happen. So, and that's another one of the laws of the universe, which says that there's enough for everyone. You don't have to take from someone else. So, I mean, all of these things go together, and we'll get into the details in another module. But right now, it's just getting you to understand that in addition to the law of attraction, there are all these other facets, all these other components and things that come into play as we're trying to create the lives we want and bring into our lives the things that we want. So as I'm going through this, it may sound a little crazy and confusing right now, but just bear with me and give it time. We're going to spend more time talking about how this thing works and how to make it work for us as we go along. Now, as we look at another facet of creation, another level of creation, and that is the realm that we live in. We live in a physical world. We live in a dimension where, how can I put this? Things take time to come together. Okay? If you want to have, say you want a new car, and you decide, I'm going to buy this car. This is, you decide which one you want, the color, the model, and everything. It takes time for you to go from the point of conceiving it to actually getting the money, making sure your credit's okay, going down to the dealership, and finally applying for the loan if you need one, or paying cash for the car. Sometimes you even have to order the car. So all of this is this time delay, which is a component of the physical world. And we have to allow that to be. So when we decide we want something, we have to be patient with the process. Sometimes it means connecting with other people. Like if you're unemployed, you're looking for a job and you want this job and you're looking. Well, you've prayed for this job. You've paid for one that will give you the income you want, that you really love, that'll be convenient, all these different things. It may take a while for you to maneuver yourself around to connect with the person that has the job, the company that has the job opening, with the right manager and the right set of circumstances so that you can get that ideal job. And that requires patience with the process. So, it's just understanding and recognizing all of these principles. Another component is what's possible in the realm, the society, the situations that we live in. Here in America, we have a lot of freedom of choice and the ability to do things, move around at will, and buy this and be that, and say this and say that. Other countries, people don't have those same options and opportunities. You can get killed from simply, saying I hate you to a dictator in another country. I mean, what was that man that almost went to prison for throwing that shoe at President Bush? Well, you might get arrested for assault on the president here, but they're not going to execute you. And you can say to him, I hate you, or today you can say to Obama, I hate you, and you're not going to go to jail, It's your right of free speech. But in another country, to tell the country's leader that you hate him could be a capital offense. So the realm of possibility of where you live also has a lot to do with what you're able to create and manifest. So we have to understand that as we work to create the lives that we want, we have to respect and be aware of the conditions, structures, and framework of where we live. Now, that's just the microcosm, because in addition to having, being in certain countries where you have certain opportunities and freedoms, there's also the realm of possibility in the dimension that we live in. And like for where we are right now, we live in the physical three-dimensional world, a world in which human beings cannot fly without assistance. Birds fly, bees fly, bugs fly. I hate bugs, but they fly. But the human being at this point in time, it's not within our consciousness of reality. It's not within the third world perception. We haven't figured out how we can fly at this point in time. Now, that's not to say that sometime in the future it won't happen, because I tell you, some of these young people, the super extreme athletes, they're doing some things that pretty much look like flying, maybe only for short distances, but as they continue to grow and muscles develop and you learn new things, become aware of new principles, who's to say that one day man won't fly? I mean, we fly in our dreams, so who's to say? The universe is full of possibility and potential, but there is a framework that we work and live in, and right now our framework and race consciousness says humans don't fly unless you're in a plane or on a hang glider or something like that. The other component is divine timing, and that again I mentioned is the timing of when it's supposed to come to you, when everything, when the combination, what are those little things, when in a combination lock, when all the little slots or bolts fall into place and you get the right combination of events, the door opens and what you're looking for comes through. So now let's talk about what happens when we start the process of creation. There's a book called Ordering from the Cosmic Kitchen that you can find on Amazon right now. It was written many years ago. It's by a woman by the name of Patricia J. Crane. Patricia J. Crane, C-R-A-N-E. She wrote this book using the principles of law of attraction and the the 6 other universal principles long before anybody talked about The Secret. This book is very, very good in explaining how when you order from the quote-unquote cosmic kitchen, which is ordering from the universe what you want, whether it's love, money, career, home, cars, health, You have to make sure that all the ingredients are present. In other words, just to take a simplistic example, let's just think about ordering from your own kitchen or from a restaurant. If you just tell the universe or tell the restaurant waitress or waiter, just bring me something to eat, I'm hungry, you don't know what you're going to get. And they'll bring whatever they think they want you to have. Maybe it's just a glass of water and a sandwich. Maybe you don't like sandwiches. But if you say, I want a steak with a baked potato with sour cream and chives, and I want the steak done medium rare, and I want a salad, I want this, that, and the other, then they come back with exactly what you want. Well, ordering from the cosmic kitchen, the universe, is the same thing. You have to be clear and concise. And the clearer you are, the more exact you are about what you want. The greater and clearer your vision, the more likely you are to get exactly what you want. And the sooner you can become that clear and that specific, the faster it can come to you. But again, it takes divine timing for all of these ingredients to come together. If you want to bake a cake and all you got is flour and water and no sugar and no oil or butter and no baking powder, what have you, that means that you can't bake the cake right now. You got to go to the store and get the rest of the ingredients. But as soon as you get the rest of the ingredients, you can come home, put everything together, and then allow time for the oven to cook your cake, to bake it, apply heat, and it turns from liquid into a cake. Then you put the icing on it, you can sit down and eat it. All of that is part of the same process it takes to bring what you order from the cosmic kitchen into form. Okay? So now let's talk about attracting what you want instead of what you don't want. Now there's some principles, some things that that we're going to start working with, and these are as we get into the exercises, and there will be homework. This is a class. There's going to be homework. Let's start talking about some of the things, the techniques or fundamentals of what you're going to be doing. One of the first things you should know is that when you have a thought, when you come up with an idea, that divine timing, that safeguard, safety check mechanism clicks in order for you to have an idea and to activate it to where it starts to begin to take shape, takes 27 seconds. So in other words, when you have something flash into your mind and you only dwell on it for a few seconds, no big deal. It just goes on. It's just a thought, a passing thought as we call it. But when you get a concept, an idea, a desire, a wish in your mind, and you hold on to that concept for at least 27 seconds, it becomes active. In other words, things start becoming activated to try to draw this energy together, to magnetize the components of whatever it is that you want into form. The longer you hold that vision and the more attention and energy you give that vision, the more things draw together, the more magnetic energy is applied to it, and it starts to really come. So in some of the processes we're going to do, you're going to use not just 27 seconds to magnify and activate a thought, but a full 2 minutes. And this is one of the practices that you will do daily, multiple times a day if possible, to help bring things into being faster. And if you think about, and that's just the activation process, if you think about your desire for 68 seconds and you add pictures, vision, physical, whatever, it starts to really take form and really starts to gel. If you think about and visualize it for a full 2 minutes, it's on its way to you. A full, just 2 minutes of thinking, empowering it with your emotion, visualizing, starting to see it, taste it, feel it, believe it. For a full 2 minutes, you've placed your order and it's in the cosmic kitchen, and now the chef can start to cook and prepare whatever it is you've ordered. So it's very simple, but you need to do more than just the 2 minutes, because where we are, the environment we live in, all this negative stuff that keeps bombarding us 24 hours a day will serve to undo all the work that you're doing if you don't stay focused. So that's one of the reasons why the practices I'm going to give you are designed to keep the energy going, to keep that focus for more than 2 minutes, and to keep reinforcing and reinforcing and reinforcing it to make sure that what comes through is what you want. Not only does it help you to bring in what you really want, it keeps you so focused and your attention so targeted on what you want that you're not thinking about what you don't want. You're not energizing the garbage and junk that you don't want, and so that stuff doesn't show up. Okay? Also, there's the power of the spoken word. We are really the only species that has a language. The animals make sounds, and they do have their own language. They do talk to each other. I mean, if you study the animals at all, you'll notice that they communicate very well. But as far as being able to speak into the word and speak into the law and create with our word, we are the only species on the planet that can actually do that. So there's power in our voice. We need to use that power effectively, correctly, and positively, because if we don't, it also undermines our ability to create what we want and can actually bring stuff to us that we don't want. For example, let's use the two words love and hate. Now, most people think, hey, it's just words. What does it matter what I say? It matters a lot what you say. In fact, it's extremely important what you say, and that's part of what we're going to talk about. Let's say somebody says the word, I hate you. I mean, even just saying that, even though I'm not directing it at anyone, just there's this energy in my body that I feel. And to the person that those words are directed to, it can be totally devastating. You say that to a child enough times and you can totally destroy their self-confidence, and they'll be dealing with it for the rest of their lives. But what about when you say, I love you? You can just feel the difference. The energy is like from down here and agitating and irritating and frightening to up here that's soothing, comforting, feeling secure, beautiful, and warm. So and there's no difference between the words you use as far as the impact of their energy. It's just that we don't believe it. We don't understand how powerful our words are, so we're very careless with them. But just, whenever you think about what you're saying and how you're saying it, think about the energy of those two words. It's the perfect example of why we should be careful with what we say and how we say it. The emotions we send into our words and the very words we choose can make all the difference in the world. So now we've talked a little bit about the spoken word. We've talked about the visualizing for 2 minutes. We've talked about energizing our words and thoughts with emotions. Let's talk about the basics real quick, and then we'll move on. For every thought is an affirmation of desire. It's like a prayer, and it really is. Everything you say is a prayer. Every affirmation is a spoken statement of desire, and it's inactive energy until you hold it for 27 seconds, and then it starts to activate. When you speak it out loud, you give it life, and it activates immediately because there's that additional emotion and power of the spoken word. You have power in your voice. Your voice is a creative power. In fact, if you think about if you want something and you don't tell anyone, well, you can get it. You have to create it for yourself, but it'll take a lot longer. But if you say something, you voice a desire to someone else, it could appear like that because someone hears you who may have access to what you want, and they bring it to you. So there's creative power in your spoken word. That's why it's easier to get what you want when you speak it out loud and you tell someone about it. When we are creating, we give our ideas, dreams, and visions life by speaking them into the law of attraction. And the law of attraction and the 6 other universal laws have no choice but to respond. Staying focused and continuing to speak our word keeps our energy flowing out into the law like a beacon of light. So what we want can come together and find its way back to us. That's our emotional vibration. We send out that desire, that emotion, that intention, that thought, that vision, and we're like a lighthouse. It sends it out, we send out this beam, and it comes back to us. Now we're going to take a few minutes to talk about the law of attraction, emotional, vibrational frequencies, the emotions that we have and what they are. This is going to be your emotional guidance system, and we're going to use these throughout the course so that you can understand why it's so important to get your emotions moved up to the higher frequencies and to not allow them to stay down into the lower level frequencies that actually get in your way and undo everything that you are trying to create. Now we're going to start with the lower level emotions. There are 22 levels of vibrational frequencies connected to our emotions. We're going to start with the lowest level, which are the ones that I say are like tar. Now what happens when of the 22, the top 7 are the ones that push us into the level of powerful creation, where positive things happen, where we get what we want. The other 15 are the ones that keep us stuck in vibrational experiences that we don't like, misery, lack, limitation, all that stuff. So starting with level 22, there's fear, grief, depression, despair, and feelings of powerlessness. And if you've ever been in any of those, or maybe several of them, you understand how weak and helpless and powerless and vulnerable you feel. And that very level of, or feeling of helplessness and need and despair is what keeps you drained. Energetically, you are powerless. You're weak. Okay. Number 21 is insecurity, guilt, and feelings of unworthiness. Here again, very low, very dense, but they're better than feelings of fear and grief and depression. At least when you get into feelings of insecurity, you can start to think about, maybe I can do something to change this. And guilt can be healed, and feelings of unworthiness can be changed with an action or an experience. Above that, number 20 is jealousy. Now, the old green, red, whatever colored energy of jealousy, it can be very powerful. It's a very powerful but negative emotion, and it can kill love. It can, destroy lives. So we want to guard against that. Above jealousy, not far, but right above it is hatred and rage. And we don't have to talk about that. We know what hatred and rage, can do. Rage means you're totally out of control. Hatred and rage cause people to kill and destroy. Number 18 is revenge. Pretty rough there too. Okay? Revenge, usually revenge is fired by some kind of hatred or rage. Okay? Above that, number 17 is anger. Just a step above revenge. But it's being angry is, you can be angry, but if you're not in a state of rage or hatred, sometimes you can be reasoned with. You can talk about it, you can rationalize it, you can work. In other words, you can get there from anger, okay? And anger is a much better emotion than the lower levels. And as we're working through this process, you'll understand later the reasons for moving up the scale to get you to a better state of being. Number 16 is discouragement. So that's not quite hopelessness, but it's just being discouraged. It takes your energy, but a few good words of encouragement or inspiration can shift that energy fairly quickly. It's not as heavy and dense, but it's still not good enough. 15 is blame. This is when you're not taking responsibility, you're pointing the fingers and blaming everybody else for everything that ever went wrong in your life. But until you take responsibility, you can't correct the conditions or the circumstances. So here again, we need to honor that feeling, but we need to deal with it. Number 14 is worry. Worry, I describe not when I mentioned all of these emotions and feelings and words are like prayers, but worry is one of the most enigmatic of the emotions, because people worry because they feel insecure, fearful. People worry for all kinds of reasons, but worry because it's such an intense energy and emotion, and it's like constantly there. Worry is like praying for what you don't want. When you worry about, what's going to go wrong, or is this going to happen, that what if, it's like praying to the universe. I got all this fear and insecurity and anxiety. Please give me more of it, because this is all I can think about right now. This is all I feel right now. And the universe says, okay, here's some more stuff to worry about. Something else goes wrong. Something else happens. Something breaks. You get a bad news on the phone. Worry. Okay? Praying for what you don't want. Then there's doubt at level 13. Doubt means that you're just not feeling too sure about what's going on, your ability to make it happen, maybe about the circumstances, but yet and still a little experience, a couple of positive events can change that. So you're getting there. Then 12 is disappointment. Well, disappointment, we all get disappointed. Even when you are living at high vibrational frequencies, you can feel disappointment, but this is not the mired down, tarry feeling of being stuck in all of this other negative energy that keeps you trapped. Disappointment is just a matter of, okay, well, I'm disappointed that didn't happen, but you're going to always talk yourself out of disappointment. Just go find something else that makes you feel better. Then number 11 is overwhelm. You get to the point of overwhelm, it makes you just want to run for the hills because it's just too much. I can't handle it. I'm just about to pull my hair out, or maybe pull that hair out, depending on how many you've got. But you have this feeling of anxiety and fear and sleeplessness because it's just more energy than you can handle. But overwhelm can be dealt with simply by maybe delegating some of the responsibilities, or just letting go of some of the things you don't need to give your attention to at this moment. Then number 10 is frustration, irritation, and impatience. Here again, these are lighter emotions. They're still not good, but they tend to come and go. You don't generally settle into these emotions, and you can deal with impatience. That just simply means you need to settle down and chill for a while. Being irritated. Yeah, well, I'm irritated, at a lot of things, but That's okay. I can handle that. Same with frustration. It's a temporary situation that can be corrected with a result or desired outcome. Number 9, pessimism. Well, pessimism, pretty heavy too, but you can shift that energy by having some experiences that tell you that hope is possible. Boredom, being bored simply means you need to get up and do something. Boredom is that self-imposed emotion of disconnect that all you need to do is get up, get active, get out, get some fresh air, take your mind off of things, and you can end boredom in a moment. Now we get into the positive levels of 7 and above of energies that actually move you forward, that will take you to the places you want to go, help create the things you want to be. And that is number 7, it's contentment. As soon as you reach the level of being content, that means you're not bored, you're not worried, you're not fretting, you're not despairing, you're not angry. You're like, okay, everything's cool. I'm all right now. I can get there from here. Once you reach the level of contentment, you start appreciating the things that you do have, recognizing how much you do have, and recognizing that things are not so bad. Contentment means that you're okay. You may want more, but it's okay if you don't get it. And so you can start building from contentment. Then number 6 is hopefulness. Now, anytime you have hope, you can make it happen. Hope is a very energizing, inspiring emotion that says, hey, I know, I hope this is going to happen, but it starts to give you that possibility of, yeah, well, maybe. And then there's optimism, number 5. Optimism is when you are knowing it's possible, you're looking forward to it, you're ready to energize and get busy because now you believe it's possible. Number 4 is positive expectation or belief. Once you hit this mode, now you are on your way. You're believing it, you're feeling it, you're knowing it, and you're expecting it. Number 3, enthusiasm, eagerness, and happiness. Hey, now we hit the sweet spot. When you hit those levels of emotional anticipation and joy, things just start to happen because you're generating so much positive energy that you can't help but magnetize good things to you. Number 2 is passion. And have you ever seen anything not come to be with someone who's passionate? Whether their passion is for something good or negative, that passion is a driving energy that will make you climb mountains, swim rivers, and cross burning deserts. That passion, that drive, that draws you to it and it to you. And at the top, in position number 1, are the energies of joy, knowledge, empowerment, freedom, love, and appreciation. This is the top of the leaderboard. Once you reach these positions, this is like your energetic force field of protection against ever dropping back down into the lower levels, so that you stay anchored in these positive emotions, and now you're ready to make it happen. Okay? Now, these emotions are the keys to making the law of attraction work. The premise is, if I can get there emotionally, I can make it happen. That's the underlying belief. Regardless as to how you may be feeling right now, the goal is to find the best feeling thought you can, and always reaching for the higher level and a better feeling until you get to the level of contentment or above. Now, here's a few examples of how you can do that. Using the list above, you can raise your vibrational frequency by shifting your feeling just up one level, then up another level, and up another level. It may take a while, several days of working with this, maybe even several weeks. But once you step up gently, one step at a time, you'll find yourself rapidly rising on the vibrational frequency ladder. And before long, you'll find yourself making things happen because you're feeling good again. You're not feeling stuck. You're not feeling overwhelmed. You're feeling good. So, I'll post these. In fact, I know they're already posted along with this video, and so you can just go through them. They will also be an attachment in the email that you received with the video link, so you can pull this information out, read through it for yourself, and then practice taking yourself through the steps of lifting your emotional vibrational frequencies until you get to number 7, contentment or above. Now, I'm not going to spend time going through this. I just want to talk about a little bit about something called your emotional guidance system. This system is your fail-safe mechanism, which helps you recognize where you are emotionally. And when you follow it and you use it to your advantage and for the purposes that it was created, you will know immediately when you start to slip on the scale. And once this happens, you can use some of the techniques and practices that I'm giving you, and also something we're going to do at the end called tapping, to help you lift this emotion and keep it up to a vibrational frequency of creativity, so that you can get things going and start making things happen. As you focus on the energies that you're feeling, always, always, always be conscious of what you're saying when you're in this level of feeling, because what you're feeling gives energy to your words, which is power. And so even if you are saying certain words, if your emotional feeling behind those words is not in alignment with those words, what's going to happen, what's going to really make things, cause the impact, is your feeling. So use your emotional guidance system. Again, it's almost like your intuition. It's the gauge by which you will determine what you say, how you say it, how you behave, what you think, and how you feel. And the whole focus of these next 5 weeks, this week and the next 5 weeks, is going to get you to a point where you are so aware of what you say and what you think and how you feel that you stop yourself before you're able to send out any more poison into your environment and creating negativity and drawing to you what you don't want instead of what you want. So now we're going to get into I'm going to do something. We're going to take an exercise. It's going to be an exercise called EFT, or tapping, the emotional freedom technique. We're going to do it with this session. This session's EFT is designed to start breaking up all of this cement that's holding you back, all of this heavy, dense energy, which literally once you get out from under it, you'll feel the difference. It will have felt like, you'll go like, wow, it was like cement, like I was just trapped under this pile of heavy dirt. And now you're going to start to feel a little better. And with each session, at the end of each session, we're going to do this little tapping sequence. And each week you'll feel better and better about it, So, all you need to do is follow along with me. We're going to do an intense, deep cycle of tapping this particular time, and then as we go through each week, we'll get a little bit better and better, and it won't be quite as intense and long. But what I want you to do is to follow along with me. I'm going to give you some words, some statements. I'm going to give you some words. I'm going to send you the script. So I'm going to repeat the tapping positions, I guess you'll call them, and show you what to do. And I'll go through the script, and you can follow along by printing out the script that I sent you with this email. And then once you do that, you can use it anytime, whether you're looking at the video or not. If you want to go back through the initial teachings, like I recommend, this is something I forgot to tell you. I recommend that you view these videos at least 3 times a week. If you can do it 6 times a week, you're going to sail through the process, and your progress is going to be phenomenal. But if you can't devote an hour, once a day, 6 days a week, not even 7, just 6, then 3 days a week is the minimum to get at least get the best benefits you can. And with this tapping exercise, if you can go through these videos from start to finish 3 times in a week, at least go through this tapping for clearing and money on your own. It only takes a few minutes, 10 minutes maybe, to run through the sequence. And you can print this out. It's got the little, once we go through this, and you'll look at the chart that I send you that shows you how to do it, you can do it on your own and just go through the script by reading it on your own. You'll still feel the energy, and you will get the maximum benefit from it. So this is called tapping, emotional freedom technique. If you want to look into what it is, go to a site called emofree.com. There's going to be some information in the package that I send you with your link, so you can read up a lot more on it in your free time. And I won't have to go through so much in the video, because actually it wouldn't do me any good to tell you what the sites are. You're not going to remember them anyway. So just you go through your homework and check out what I give you and learn more about EFT. The more common name for it these days is called tapping. And what it is, it's like acupuncture, except we use our fingers. It's like, we don't use needles. We tap on energy centers in the body, the eyebrow point, side of the eye, under the nose, on the chin, the collarbone, which here we just use our hand. It makes it covers the spot, which is a little hard for some people to find. And then we use under the arm, and you'll see me reach here. It's called UA, under the arm. It's right about 3 inches below your armpit. And in the initial stages, we'll be using that as a tapping point, and then the top of the head. As we go along and you get more familiar with it, and we've broken up some of the concrete that surrounds you, we'll eliminate the under the arm sequence. But for right now, because it connects to a vital energy center in your torso, we do want to use it. So just use your fists, like your forefingers, when you're tapping about 3 inches under your armpit. You feel a little sensitivity. If you move your fingers around, it won't be quite as sensitive, but if you hit that spot, it's like it feels different. So for tonight, what I'm going to do is we're going to start with this area of the hand. We call this the karate chop. Like if you're chopping something like this is the KC point, karate chop point. We tap on this and make some statements, which we call our setup statements. What they are for is to bring your attention to the emotions, to the thoughts that we want to clear. And because our emotions are carried in the muscle tissue, the bones, the nerves, everywhere in our body, when we start tapping here on this nerve spot here, it really starts to activate. It's like it tells the body, hey, attention, hey, we're going to talk about this, hey, we're going to address this issue. And so we tap on this point and we say these setup statements, which focuses our intent. Because remember, and another thing I want to mention real quick is everything is energy. We are energy. The floor is energy. The buildings, the air, everything is spirit energy. It's just different levels of density. Just like I gave you the example of ice, water, and steam. It's a matter of vibrational frequency and density. So for us, we want, and if you tap on this side of your hand a few minutes, you'll start to feel it tingling. And that's because you're hitting that nerve that's getting your attention in your brain, saying, hey, pay attention to my emotional system. We want to deal with this. So I'm going to repeat these first few setup statements, and you can just repeat after me if you don't have your script printed out. And if you do, then you can just repeat the steps once. When we get into the tapping points, when I'm saying under the eye and the nose and what have you, I'm just going to say it one time, say the statement one time, and you just read after me. You can literally hold the paper in one hand, tap with the other hand. Doesn't matter which side you tap on or which hand you use, as long as you do it. Okay, so let's start with the karate chop point, and we're going to say, even though I'm still surviving when I'm no longer required to, even though I'm still surviving when I'm no longer required to, I deeply love and accept myself. I deeply love and accept myself. And I just want to mention, we're working on releasing the idea of deprivation and lack and limitation of money. So the term surviving is related to your lack and limitation, the feeling of deprivation, of surviving, just barely getting by. So let's start with that statement again. Even though I'm still just surviving when I'm no longer required to, I deeply love and accept myself. Even though I think I have to be deprived, and I'm no longer willing to be, and I'm not creating enough money right now, I'm bringing this into proper balance now. Even though I may be sabotaging myself when I know better, and it's no longer required of me to sabotage myself, I deeply love and accept myself anyway. Okay, now at the eyebrow point, releasing deprivation, side of the eye, releasing having to go without, under the eye, releasing having to go without good food, under the nose, releasing having to go without money, on the chin right here, releasing having to go without good health, and on the collarbone, releasing having to struggle, and under the arm, releasing the thought that it's what's required, and the top of the head, but it keeps me humble. Eyebrow point, it keeps me spiritual. Side of the eye. So, I'll create it. under the eye. Lack of limitation with money and food, under the nose. Releasing these patterns on the chin, from the core of my being, on the collarbone, from my birth experience, under the arm, from my ancestors back 10 generations, top of the head. Even though, eyebrow, I'm in a world where I can thrive, side of the eye, I'm still just surviving, under the eye. But I love and accept myself anyway, under the nose. And I'm grateful for this experience, on the chin, so I can know more clearly, collarbone, what I really want. Under the arm, I'm bringing in the balance, top of the head, of money and food, eyebrow. I'm now creating, side of the eye, more than enough money, under the eye, and only enough food to stay balanced with my weight, under the nose. But food is easy, on the chin, and money is gonna be easy, collarbone. Life is easy, under the arm, and I'm a spiritual and humble being, top of the head, living true to my commitments to spirit. Now I want you to take, we're going to open up the heart chakra. This is an energy center where all this emotion resides. Take your dominant hand, whichever hand you write with. You can either use the palm of your hand or you can make a fist. And I just want you to rub right around the heart space, the center of your chest, and say, I forgive myself because I've always done the best that I know how. Okay? Just feel that energy. Rub it a few more times. Now just put your hands, palms up in your lap, and I want you to take a deep breath. We're going to inhale 3 times and exhale 3 times. So inhale 1 time and exhale. Inhale again and exhale. Inhale 1 more time and exhale. Just let it all go. Feel the energy flowing down from the top of your head all the way through your body, down through your legs, through your bottoms of your feet, into the earth. Feel all that dense, heavy energy just being pushed down by the energy of your spirit, pushing down all this dense negative energy through your feet into the earth where it can be recycled. You're just letting go. And then feel the tingling at the bottom of your feet as Mother Earth sends all of this cleaned out, recycled, lighter, loving energy up through your body, around your body, going around your body, above your head. Feeling this energy like about 2-3 feet around you and above you. Just feeling this warm, cozy, loving feeling as Mother Earth says, I love you. You're safe. You're secure. And just breathe. Just relax. And while you're there relaxing and feeling the energy, that's the end of session 1. That's what we're going to do for this week. Just getting you started, starting to break up this energy, get you familiar with the processes, with the concepts, and just letting you relax. And this is your lesson for week 1. If you do this 6 times this week, you won't even recognize yourself by next week. You'll be sleeping better. You'll be less irritated with everyone around you, the kids, the husband, the wife. You know, they won't be getting on your nerves. The bosses, the coworkers, even you'll be able to handle traffic better. So just do this practice at least 3 times this week, and then allow yourself to just relax. And don't rush the energy when you get to the deep breathing. for however long you want to sit and just feel the energy flow until the tingling goes away. Just allow yourself that time. Give yourself that moment of relaxing. It may be the only moment you get during the day to really relax and let go. And the longer you allow that process to dissolve this deep, heavy energy, the better. And one thing I want to mention, as you're going through these routines, especially after you've done a tapping like we have, when you do your classes, make sure you drink plenty of water to flush your system, because this is kind of like getting a spiritual massage. If you've ever had a physical massage, you know the masseuse will tell you to drink plenty of water and avoid toxic substances like alcohol and caffeine and stuff if you can. But more than anything, drink plenty of water to flush it out, because this is exactly what you're doing. You are dumping emotional toxins into your system. It's the way the body works, and now you need to flush it out. So drink plenty of water, and for the next 24 hours, and every day that you're doing the tapping, just do that to keep your system clean. It will help give you comfort and to detox you faster, and it also makes the system work faster. So there was a lot of information that we covered in this session, but if you review it every day for the next 6 days, it'll start to settle in and you'll get more comfortable. Very, 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 very shortly, you'll start to see changes happening, and the changes are going to be within you. You'll see things happening around you that appear to change, but really it's your perception of it. And this is what we can control. We can control our perspective, how we respond to the world. We cannot change, manipulate, or control the situations outside of us. We can only work with who we are, where we are, and within us. So as you see things changing around you, even if you don't notice the change in you, when you notice that maybe somebody at work seems nicer, or the kids are easier to manage, or the husband's not so irritating, or the wife's not so cranky, it's because your perspective and your energy is changing, and indeed it will affect the world around you. So next week we're going to talk about shifting your behavior and your languaging by monitoring your thoughts and your words. We'll be exchanging some empowering words for the disempowering words you're currently using, and for the disempowering behaviors that you might be unconsciously doing, okay? And we'll do some more EFT, some more tapping. Now keep your eye out for an email from me during the week, word of encouragement, a little, something to kind of keep you going, to reinforce what you learned. Also, I invite you, and I encourage you strongly to encourage you to email me at talkwithlynn@gmail.com. That email will be, the email address will be in your materials that I'm going to send you as well. In fact, the email that you already received with this link. And also, you are a member of the Love and Happiness Mastery Group on Facebook. So as you're going through the week, you can post your questions, comments, concerns, and testimonials. I love your testimonials. We want to know what's happening with you. Everybody will benefit from reading about your experiences and sharing. So, use Facebook. It gives us a faster way to communicate, because I can go to Facebook and answer the questions anytime. And it makes it easier because I don't spend all day on my email. I'd never get anything done. But I will monitor Facebook, okay? So enjoy the week. Enjoy your experiences. Enjoy the changes that are taking place. You're going to so love this process. It's going to bring so many wonderful things into your life. And I'm so happy to be able to share this journey with you. So have fun with it. Remember to stay focused on what you want and not what you don't want, so you can make it happen. Whenever you start worrying, start remembering what I said. Worrying is like praying for what you don't want, and stop it in its tracks and start saying, nope, I don't want that, and create exactly the opposite. Take the time to change whatever you were worrying about into its positive complement. If you're worrying about, I'm not going to have enough money, I'm so broke. Nope, I have the universe is abundant. There's plenty of money for me. I just have to go find it. I got to go find my money. I have enough money. I just have to go find it, and change it like that. Play that game with your mind and just see what happens. Okay? So have a great day. Keep tapping, and I send love and light to you always. See you in week 2.